Hello everybody, they call me Muse and I welcome you back to Baldur's Gate 3, where we're in a stinky meat tunnel with Jolly Glitter Spark and her reprobates. We've also not got much health, so we probably want to find our way sooner rather than later to that long resting point that's down here.
Tread carefully. We are very close to the source of the Absolute now. That telepathic storm has become a tempest.
Very true. We do want to tread carefully. So let's see what's this way. Is this Chop's room?
The stench. Oh, I wonder how many pilgrimages to Moonrise ended down here.
Yeah, this is where Chop hangs out.
Fresh recruits for Ketheric's army. To a necromancer, a morgue is a muster yard.
So what we got going on? It's us.
Make more, never think, always chop, chop, chop.
Chop.
No will sparks behind his eyes. His mind has been hollowed out to better echo the commands of the collective. You could kill it, end its miserable life of enslavement. Surely that would be the humane thing to do. You could take advantage of its vulnerability and plunder what's left of its hollow mind for anything that could serve you.
We could do both. Let's have a poke around if we can.
Pliant as well-worn boots, his mind turns to his work. Chop, cut, sword, shiver of impact, crack of bone. He removes the brains, digs free the squirming tadpoles, the unworthy ones given over to the illithids, to become.
Become what?
Part of one mind. 4 little feet dancing to same song.
With a lurch, you realize he means the intellect devourers. Here, the brains are harvested, made part of the hive mind.
But there is one little kitty dances to another song. Same song as you.
Where can I find this little kitty?
Locked up. Bad kitty. Thinks it is other.
Yeah, we need to find Ketheric.
Must low, down, deep. 1 of 3. 1 of 3.
Down below. That makes sense. And I guess we already know what he did to all these people. He chopped.
Chop, chop. Help them become
And we know what this place is, of course.
nursery. Here they become.
Yeah, we like killing. Why didn't we send you to all these creatures you butchered?
Yes. Yes. Please.
That's what he'd like. We're not really in a fit state for a punch-up, though.
Death close at hand.
Let's swig a few potions, at least. Can't really sneak here because of the intellect devourers, but we can try. No, he's not having it. Actually, we should be using Shadowheart anyway, shouldn't we? She's our assassin.
March. My chosen gather below.
Pick to fight. The consequences are hardly surprising.
Very true. Consequences are sneak attack.
Not for long. Time for chop.
Now, Jolly, what do you want to do? I mean, you're kind of stuck behind Astarion, so Astarion first. Good start.
Death. Free at last. No more.
Nice.
Chop. Chop. Chop.
Yeah, no more chop chops. Now, a bit of a booming blade, perhaps. Now we can throw in a bit of rakish sneak attack, why not? And then just a stab. Wonderful. Could potentially mock one of these other brains. Why not? Well, let's see. Yeah, we can't get any closer to Santos them, so... Yeah, we'll call a brain a tit. Jolly's pretty good with an anatomy normally, but... seems like she's made an error there. Now, Shadowheart. Yeah. You should have no trouble wrecking these fools. It's just sort of what you do, really. And then a little cantrip. And that bugger's on his way down. Kapow. Lovely. So we will help ourselves to the key and see what Us has to say.
We are free! Thank you, friend. But perils remain, near and far. Better to stay together. You and us, we will remain with you. Call us, and we will be at your side.
Outstanding. We have got Us. We're also encumbered. It didn't take a lot. We got a bunch of weapons that we just don't need. So let's send them to Astarion. That'll help. How's our supplies looking? Yeah, we've got a bunch of supplies as well, so let's send those to camp. That's another 6 weight removed. And we can press on. So is this way where the Death Shepherds live? It might be. Yeah, there's a big old fight in there. Cancel that. Come back, going. We probably want to rest before that. Now, behind this door is what we're looking for. Bam. We are restored. Should we summon a little army? Yeah. Us is lobotomized though, which doesn't bode well. They're level 4. I mean, Shovel's level 1, but still. Can we see exactly what lobotomized does? Can't by examining there. There we go. Yeah, so Us might not be that effective, all told. It's their own fault for getting in my way. At least they can soak up an attack or two. Now, which way next? Let's try this one. We'll clear the whole place probably, so it doesn't really matter which way we choose first. The barracks.
Some who worked here were not thralls or undead. They were loyal to Ketheric and his grim cause.
It's good to have Minty along as a tour guide. Now, what's going on here? Ah, that leads back to the Tadpoling Centre. We'll explore that in a minute, but we're in the barracks now, so let's continue. There's Cressa, Bone Daughter.
Bring death. Lashes. Balthazar let one of his walking carcasses lapse from his control. Let's ferry them back. Wait! By the Bone Lord. It's you.
It's me.
I thought I'd never see you again. I wanted to keep you for myself, but they shipped you away.
Who was I to you when I was here, before I was infected?
You talk! And you are aware. How is that possible? Oh, but what an arresting voice you have.
Thanks.
You're not supposed to be here, Special One. That's not right. But I don't want to damage you. You were my very first, after all. I learned everything about the parasites from you. I remember finding you close to death. Beaten black and blue on the floor of this sanctum. It must have been a few hours after the tadpole was placed in your skull. How you got here was a total mystery. But I stitched you up just enough to keep you alive, then placed you within your crib. I kept you as mine until you were needed by our superiors. We had such a close bond. I opened you up endlessly with my scalpels and got lost in your insides.
So this is where I was left after someone infected me.
I was not behind it. I do not know. But whoever did it, I'm so glad they left you here for me. Truthfully, I'm not surprised to see you found your way back here all by yourself. I always knew you were clever. It has never been the same with another. All the other victims who come here just meekly obey. You thrashed. You fought. You were indomitable. But as special as you are, you shouldn't be swanning around here, acting as if free will is yours again. We're going to kill you, sweet one. But I promise I will stay with you afterwards. Lashes, bring this one back to my table. And prepare my knives for a long night of experiments.
So there we go. We were infected. Then something happened to us. And we wound up here. And then Cress is basically the one who looked after us. And then her husband, I believe it was, got us shipped out. And she sulked about it for ages. We read a bit of that earlier in Balthazar's chamber, I believe. Now, Hairy Henry's only level 3. Probably not much of a threat, but we might want to take him out just to get rid of the bugger. That's good damage to start. And do we use our action surge here, or do we save that for... Yeah, you probably save that for the Death Shepherd's fight that's coming up. Although there's no reason why we can't refresh between each fight, is there? So yeah, that's a good start. Now, Jolly. Let's just go in for a stab. Maybe a booming blade. And maybe a flick of the wrist. Bam! 3 attacks per turn. You love to see it. Starion, you're a bit further back than I'd like. So you might have to do a jump. Now you're right up in their grill. Let's see. Yeah, even though that restoration gave us all the benefits of a long rest, it hasn't cost us our elixir or anything like that. That's pretty great. Minty, what can you do? Put her on her butt. Wonderful. Don't think Shovel and us really need to do much this fight.
Even the worms will want your carcass once I'm done with you.
Fireball? No. No is what we say to Fireball. Incubate death, okay. Now that might be something that we can deal with. So, us has reduced movement because of the lobotomy. I don't know if it's also got reduced stats or whatever. Oh dear. Probably fine. Yeah, it seems fine. Jolly. Can definitely sneak attack this bugger. Booming blade. Maybe get you to put that flail on the ground. Outstanding. And then a bit of fisticuff.
She is but the hack doctor who half pieced you together after whatever caused your head to get in this mess. Someone else must have attacked you in the midst of whatever you were doing down here. This necromancer was a grunt in the scheme of the horrors enacted against you. That attacker is the source.
Why were we down here?
You were no Merkel cultist, that much is sure. You sense in your soul you were something far greater.
That sounds right. Now, she's got no gear because she's dropped her scourge. Guess the others won't have much of merit about their persons. A flail of Merkel. That's pretty cool. But it's not magical. So let's have a quick peek around the place. Yeah, there's the journal of Magthew. Magthew was Cress's partner, not really my wife any longer. I thought that getting that favourite creature dispatched would bring her back to herself. So yeah, he's the one who told Balthazar that we were in Cress's care and got us sent away from here to somewhere else for reasons that may not be clear just yet. I mean, why we were down here in the first place isn't clear, so... yeah. Now, the old tadpoling centre.
Brine pools, but empty of tadpoles. Unusual. Harvesting all the larvae indicates they are getting ready for something big.
No tadpoles in this brine pool.
Are we sure about that, Jolly?
A brine pool. Empty, thankfully.
Seems so.
A parasite.
Ah, there we go.
Take it. It might be useful.
Astari-inspired one. So he and Minty are our tadpole eaters. Maybe we'll give it to Minty just to increase her chances of popping Cole the Weak slightly. I mean, it would for either of them, but... yeah. There we go. There's nothing else of merit in this room, it seems. Just some Mind Flayer pods that are empty. Is anyone in any of these? Oh, yeah.
The device releases a stream of fragmented memories and emotions, all that remains of the pod inhabitant's former self.
Looks like Flaming
Your
Fist.
lungs burn with the dry heat of the fires raging about you. The pain is not enough to diminish your swing. One goblin after another falls to your blade.
A goblin killer.
His voice cries out through the thick smoke. Ravenguard, you call, but the clang of swords and spell shouts of attacking drow are your only reply.
So that fist was at the attack on Walkeen's Rest.
Down.
Your tadpole forms a telepathic connection with the device, and a chorus of static energy fills your mind. Every mind flayer in the room calls out hungrily from its pod, seeking release and sustenance. But there are others in the pods, those not yet infected, not yet illithid, terrified, desperate to escape.
Yep.
The device is open to
Couple
your
of fists.
tadpole's command, to your authority.
Purge. That sounds like the sort of option Jolly would pick.
Screams, psychic agony, terror, then nothing.
Bam! That's a lot of XP for pushing a button. Yep. They've definitely been flushed away by the look of it.
Hurry now.
I was kind of hoping they'd fall out so we could see if the fist had any loot. But no, not to be.
The chosen are my heart.
I'll take the XP.
And you.
How are we doing for XP anyway? Roughly halfway to level 10. That's pretty good going. You can get to level 10 before you fight Ketheric down here. But it's pretty tricky, so we're doing well to get close. There's one more room down here with the Death Shepherds and whatnot. I don't think we need anything from that room, but we're at full health, we're fully restored, so we can have a rumble. The old necrotic laboratory, and it's on. So, where do we begin? Level 3 zombie. 22 HP. Can we do that in one Eldritch Blast? No, but it's good damage. Astarion, we will just leap in and start smacking things about. Wonderful. And Shadowheart can run as far as she can. That's that one down. And that one has got some sort of undead fortitude. Undead ward aura. So it's probably because it's close enough to the Death Shepherd. And then Minty.
Whatever experiments Balthazar performed here, I fear he made more than thralls and ghouls.
Indeed. I think Ice Storm or Sleet Storm would be a good bet, just to keep everyone on their butts. But we can only put it this far forward. We could now fly. So we can get a bit closer to the action. Now, what are you lot going to do? You're going to fly as well. Us can't really do much. That winged horror decided to just run instead of fly. May as well just be a wingless horror if you're going to do that. There we go, that one's flying though. And it has, of course, its broken concentration on Minty. I shouldn't have moved it that far forward. But now this lot are all going to fall on their butts. What fun. Now they're all gathered around Astarion, so it might be worth just dropping an Ice Storm on his head. Jolly's got the Disintegrating Nightwalker, so she can move on the ice without falling on her butt. That's great news. Now, I do want the Death Shepherd, but it's kind of tucked away. So I guess we'll just fisticuff things. And then Shadowheart can shoot some buggers. Yeah, critical miss. What the heck? And now Minty can drop an Ice Storm. Maybe she drops it there. Everyone gets lit up. And most of them fall on their ass. You love to see it. What are you going to do, Death Shepherd? You're going to resurrect some other buggers. Oosh. Didn't like that crit. Do you like these zombies all falling on their ass though? Withering Theft. What are you when you're at home? 2 to 16 damage. Gain temporary HP. Seems pretty rough. I think we'll say no to that. Now, Jolly is slowed down by the ice, even if she can't slip on it. She can get close enough to damage things. Well, a little bit, at least. I should have used a Booming Blade there, because then I could have used a rakish sneak attack, perhaps, on that bugger. It's fine. Now, I kind of want Astarion to get up there. He's going to eat some attacks, though, if we do. We don't want him taking, like, 3 opportunity attacks, so we'll keep him here. And we'll get rid of these buggers. And then we'll move him around slightly.
Can't afford to let up.
Now, Shadowheart, you can fall over on an ice. But you can teleport to unoccupied, obscured spots. So where's unoccupied and obscured? Just there, maybe? Yeah, being a Dark Justiciar ain't so bad. Oh, that used an action though. It wasn't just a bonus. My bad. I assumed because it was a cantrip, it was just going to be a bonus action. I should have Misty Step then, basically. So it's not great, really. It's a short rest recharge, and it's a full action. That's a bit of a bum. Now, Minty, her movement speed is unimpeded by difficult terrain, but she can still fall on her butt, I think. And she's proved it right there. Which means she won't be able to react to things with counter spells this turn. Now the whole crew is surrounded. Yeah, putting Shadowheart there was a mistake. Oh, we can counter spell though. That's nice. Well, it still seemed to work because Minty took damage. It's a mystery. Now, Booming Blade. And we can throw in a sneak attack as part of that. Even better. Branding Smite. Radiant damage. Good damage all round. I forgot we had smites. But then maybe we want to save our spell slot for a counter spell, so maybe we just stab. And give him the old pocket sound. We could always scuttle away a bit. So, let's Misty Step this time with Shadowheart. We're over here now. And we'll start working on the Death Shepherd. Minty, can you drop another Ice Storm in such a way that it doesn't hit Astarion? Nice. That's iced up all the ground, including the stuff that was just wet before. Which is curious. We will fly away from that ice.
The dance macabre.
And now some fisting from Astarion. That bug has regained his life. Down he goes now. Now what are you up to? Should we counterspell that? We don't want more things being brought into the fight, do we? And one of the psionic backlashes actually killed the Death Shepherd. Amazing. Blam. We're invisible because we got the kill. And then we got the kill again. It's a great thing about zombies, you get to kill them twice. We like killing. There we go. It's a tricky fight at times, but the fact the Death Shepherd was only level 6 is helpful. I thought it was bigger than that. And so from in here we can go through another door over there. We've got the resonance stone over there that we don't really need. This door leads back to the morgue, yes? Yes. And then we got this little puzzle thing. We don't need the sword behind here, but there might be some plot that's different to what you might hear in a non-Dark Urge character. Possibly. I'm not sure.
The console bursts into life. A mind touches your own. Alien and full of desperate need, but fragmented too. It is incomplete. It yearns to connect, but needs you to guide the process, linking each part of your mind to its like.
We shall manipulate the mind. So, what have we got? Memory. Where's memory? That looks alright. Then we got emotion, which was down below, so let's take the low road with emotion. And then, let's see, speech and reason. Let's go speech. Have I broken things?
Ma, stop, welcome.
Okay, maybe I haven't. It seems to be okay. We're still never fully sure how this works. Have we got any nodes that aren't being used at all?
That should do it.
There we go.
Time to see what's back there.
That was fiddly. It's a interesting little puzzle, but the fact that it's in like 3D space like this just makes it a pain in the ass to manipulate. So we've got the Blade of Oppressed Souls, which I'm pretty certain we don't require. Yeah, it's just a longsword with psychic damage on it. No one really needs that. Okay, so it turns out that was not really necessary because it doesn't reveal anything that's different on Dark Urge to anyone else. The Elder Brain is just mad because their grand design has been corrupted, and now it might be time to descend. I don't know if there'll be any assembling going on, but there might be some separating. Kethric's head from his shoulders.
Is anyone else's tadpole squirming around a lot more than usual?
It's almost like it's excited by something, drawn to it.
And here we are. At the door. The door of autosaves.
No longer a background murmur. The presence in your mind builds to a roar.
We've found it. The Absolute is behind this door.
Best go in, say hello.
You said it was under control.
It isn't you I answer to, Gortash.
Oh, the general voice. Is this where we salute?
Salute, yes. With cleavers through his blood-starved flesh. How it crawls with failure, like flies on lick-wet carrion.
You forget yourself, Orin. I've played my part.
You've built an army for our masters, true enough. But what of the astral prison? A rogue true soul flaunting it under your nose all this time, and you ran from her.
Sure that they would follow and deliver it into my hands here. If you would cease these distractions.
The distractions have been yours, Ketheric. Perhaps we never should have dug your daughter up. so you haven't lost your edge. But you're still not as sharp as Orin, I wager.
His crypt breath sings to my sinews again, 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 again. But he must lead the murder march to Baldur's grave.
If the weapon is truly in your grasp, Ketheric, might I suggest closing your fist? Orin and I can wait for you no longer. The plan proceeds. We're going to the city, and we expect you to follow. Army and the weapon in tow.
The Edict of Bane.
The Lash of Thor!
Testament of Myrkul!
An Elder Brain. One of the cruelest and most powerful creatures in existence. Enslaved by mere mortals.
There we are. It wouldn't do to fight in front of our guest. Behold, Duke Ravengard. The Absolute.
Helm preserve us.
You wag your word flap in vain, Alderling. Once the worm holds the whip, your shredded flesh will serve us.
Now, it's really time we were going. We will empty this place and begin the march. You may catch up with the army once you've retrieved the weapon. And Ketheric, do try not to sulk. You're supposed to be the fearsome general come to conquer the city. And I am the hero who will save it.
It is time, faithful ones. March on Baldur's Gate. We go to prepare the way.
Not sure why we got 60 XP for that. Ah, there we go. Shadowheart is inspired. That would explain it. Well done, Shadowheart. So what have we here? Isabel? But you're dead. I saw to it myself. Ketheric, you're half dead. That was our fault as well. Let's finish the job.
They'll catch a break.
There you are, as predicted. What is it, I wonder, that draws one toward death like a moth to light? You could have run away, absconded with the prism. The one thing that could prevent me from fulfilling my destiny. But the lure of one's destiny is irresistible, isn't it? Perhaps you hope to learn your place in history before you are erased from it. A bright flash of clarity before the snuffing out.
I'll reach my own Crimson Castle, and your corpse will pave my path.
A mad dog like Orin might be impressed. I am not. Let us speak plainly. My Lord Myrkul gave me the one thing I desired, the one thing no other god could grant me. My daughter's life returned. Her heart beating once more. For that, he asked that I serve as his chosen. Join Orin and Gortash to grow the cult of the Absolute, and then take control of it. He's never had a more devoted follower. I have fought great wars before, in the service of other gods and other powers, But for Myrkul, I would condemn all of Faerun to death. You are all that stands between me and my destiny. And you have brought the prism here. I will kill you now. And then I will raise you as my servant.
Listen, buddy, if anyone around here is condemning Faerun to death, it's going to be me. Let's finish this.
Say farewell, Isabel.
I'm grateful to you for bringing me home. I was a fool to resist. I know better now. Good luck in the City of Judgment. I wish you the best. Sincerely.
My lord, I offer you these souls so they may return as servants to your cause. Join the army of the dead, true soul. Witness Lord Myrkul's glory.
And so it's on. Isabel needs to be killed again. But also Mind Flayer needs to be killed. Mind Flayer is a problem. So, what do we do and how do we do it? Necromites aren't a big problem. Let us start with a bit of Minty, perhaps. Can't quite reach the Mind Flayer, but we can certainly put Isabel on her ass.
Survival is all that matters.
Shadowheart, I'm guessing you can't reach the Mind Flayer, although you can cunningly dash. And that gives you a good chance to deal some damage. Some good damage. So let's make it some great damage by getting in a few extras. Wonderful. Now, because of that, we can take out the Mind Flayer this turn, I think. Outstanding. Can't really reach anywhere else, so that's fine. Shovel, you are going to be on Necromite duty, pretty much. Astarion, you can bounce up there. Shield blow. Okay. Guess you can't do that multiple times. So we're just going to beat you up a bit. Now the Necromite's doing Reach from Beyond, which is a reasonable amount of damage. But we don't really want to be wasting our counter spells on those, probably. Oh, we've got some Intellect Devourers coming in as well. And then what's Isabel going to do when she gets up? Glad that missed. Eek. Because, yeah, it's big damage.
Focus your attack, soldiers.
Bit of psionic backlash. Where you going, Izzy? Okay, that bugger pops before we could even attack it. That's a shame. But once again we've killed Isabel. This is good news. Right, you can't be disarmed. So mockery is all we can really do.
Twice as full of shite. Unleash me.
Shovel, can you do anything about this one? Technically you could, but you haven't. Us? That's decent damage. And you can draw out its opportunity attack, which allows Minty to move away.
A bold maneuver.
And then I think we will try and deal with these Necromites. Ice Storm might be overkill. But we don't want everyone attacking Shadowheart. Can we fly up there? We can't quite reach, it seems. That's a shame. We can fly up there. I don't know if that helps us, or if we're too far out of the fight. But let's see. I don't know if these things stay in the fight, if they survive after Ketheric's been knocked down. So we'll try and deal with them. But we also want Ketheric down, just because we don't want any smites going Astarian's way if we can avoid it. Now these two are going to dash down because, yeah, they are going for Shadowheart. So it's just a case of can Astarian dodge smites.
My lord brought her there once already.
Okay.
Your death will be final.
Right, Astarian has just suffered true death. But now he's back. It did end you, Astarian. You big spoon. So what should we do with old Minty from up here? That's nice. Bit of minion on minion action. Curses. Now, I'll provoke one attack of opportunity if Shadowheart moves. I think she can live with that. Does she have any health potions about her person? She does. So rather than do anything else with her, I think I might just give Astarian a bit of health back. Although we've got an attack left. Little jumpy jump. And then that's this Devourer down. Wonderful. What are you going to do from up there now, Mince? Critical miss. Okay. We'll also move you over here, because I want you on this platform if it's all possible. Shovel doesn't need to do much. Astarian, do you have any big healing potions about your person? Or have you just got small ones? What's the biggest ones we've got? We've got a superior one. Oh, wait, he needs another elixir to get back in the fight. That's unfortunate. But fortunately, he's got 2 bonus actions per turn, so... So you can now drink that potion. Oh, he had a few anyway. Never mind. And then... You can get up here and deliver fisticuffs.
No escape.
Can he? He doesn't seem to want to. There we go. And he got put on his ass by a shield blow. Okay. Shadowheart's missing because of that high defense. So Ketheric's probably going to knock out Astarian again. Yeah. But this time he can just be resurrected. And then we actually got a hit off. That's good.
I got like a summer's day. Thou art sweating.
Now, Minty, can you finish the job? Bit of cool lightning, maybe. Didn't quite finish off the orb. Do you have? Yeah, you do have 2 hand crossbows, so... Where's our option for offhand attack ranged? There it is. Nice. Maybe we should change up our hotbar so that it's on there. Now, Shovel, you've got a 20% chance to hit Ketheric. You've been electrocuted. You did actually hit Ketheric. I'm impressed. That was unexpected. Now, is he undead, and therefore can he be bitten or not? He can't be bitten. Let's have a little drinky poo, or 2. Not enough actions. Are we going to trigger an opportunity attack? No. Because he's used his reaction already. We've been electrocuted, though. We can cope with that.
What a fool you are. You cannot kill me. I am eternal.
The irresistible killer versus the unkillable force.
Myrkul, Lord of Bones, I am here. I am ready. I am yours.
One of us is going to be proved wrong. And it ain't going to be us.
Oh dear.
It's fine, Astarion. It's just a dusty old relic with a triangle for a head. And we're gonna mess it up. So how do we go about this? I'm not sure why this water's... Oh no. I know exactly why that water's electrified. It's because we electrified it with Minty. But it kind of gets in our way. Perhaps. Maybe that's fine. Whose turn are we on? It's Shadowheart. 60% chance to hit. We could turn on Sharpshooter, but then it becomes a 35% chance to hit, so we'll leave that off. Let's just go for a shot, see what happens. Nothing. Okay. We tried. Maybe we're best off being up top somewhere, although we didn't have a low ground penalty, did we? Because we got Sharpshooter, so... Yeah, that's nothing to worry about. Let's get us over there, perhaps. What are you going to do, Mercs? 18 damage and frightening. Well, there goes Shovel. Okay, now it's on. The Bone Children were electrified. And we're not doing any damage. This is unfortunate. We could become the Slayer, but the Slayer's generally terrible.
Ready for battle.
Let's not do that. That's a silly plan. Goff, that's damage. That's real damage right there. The Starion can't move. Let's swig a couple of potions. And can't even get a shot off with our bow. Sad times. Now Shadowheart. I'm guessing Merkel can't be blinded or anything like that. But we can try. We did extra damage at least. Now. Us may as well move around there. Let's potentially climb up next turn. And you have summoned us all onto your platform. It's kind of awkward because we're frightened, so we can't move, so we're going to take a hit. But at least we got a strike off. Not sure if he's going to do anything that can be counterspelled, because nothing's popped up yet. Now, Minty, you do not want to be on this platform. Will you get flight back if you redo your thing? Yeah, you get flight back even though you've not cast a new spell. That's good. You're at least out of trouble. Although Necromites might come over and bother you if we're not careful. But maybe Astarion has a chance of dealing with those. Can't reach the last one, of course. Haven't got any bonus actions left. Wounded it, at the very least. And then Shadowheart is not going to get scythed up because she's still down here. Oh, it can be blinded. Outstanding. Devour Intellect. 2 to 20 damage. Okay, it's safe.
One life to my life. Sustain me.
Yes, get wrecked. There's another Necromite down there. Okay. Jolly can do some real damage now. Still blinded for another turn. I guess we can't disarm it, but we can still flicker the wrist in. Oh, we can! It doesn't appear to have dropped anywhere that we can reach, but we've definitely taken its scythe away. Wow. So, Astarion. Yeah, get rid of that bugger.
Guessing.
And then I guess just ping a shot in. There's some good damage. Critical hit. thrown a sneak attack, and Shadowheart's about to kill it. Nice. Well done, crew.
Impossible. Death cannot take me. I am its master. My lord, hear me. Nothing. I am forsaken. You have no idea what you've done. Isabel.
We rarely have any idea what we've done, but that doesn't stop us.
Hells. I could sleep for a 10-day after that.
Ketheric's Netherstone. It's in his armor. Take it.
Maybe we will. Maybe Astarion can take it, because he's also going to be taking his very heavy armor. I'm sure it can't hurt to give an object of unimaginable powers to Astarion like this.
In death, the body is cooling, but energy radiates from the stone.
You did well. Really well. And now the picture comes together. The Absolute is neither god nor man. It is the Elder Brain you saw. Held here by those three against its will. The crown it wears controls it. And these stones control the crown. It has been dominated. To master an Elder Brain, to subdue it. Our enemies are formidable.
What are these stones?
The crown's markings suggest it was forged in Netheril, an ancient empire whose mastery over magic rivaled that of the gods. It is a crown of domination. The stones were taken from its crest. They are Netherstones, imbued with the ability to control the wearer of the crown. The crown's Netherese magic must be the true source of the parasite's abilities. This must be what elevates their potential. And it must be the reason nobody could heal you. If the crown can do this to the parasite, I dare not imagine what it is doing to the brain.
Do you know who our enemies are?
One of them I know, Lord Enver Gortash, an arms dealer and a slaver. A worshipper of Bane, the god of tyranny. The other is a mystery to me, but the way she spoke, it is most likely she follows Baal, god of murder. Ketheric was a follower of Merkel, which means the Absolute is a front for the gods of death, and our enemies are the chosen of the Dead Three.
What do we do now?
The army of the Absolute is marching on Baldur's Gate. Within the city, an Elder Brain, brimming with power, ready to turn everyone within its reach into mind flayers. All it needs is an order. An order the Death Gods chosen are on the cusp of giving. We must wrest control of the brain from the chosen before that happens. We must take their stones. Our chances of success are slim, but we must not fail. If we fail, everything ends. I will be your shield, but you must be the sword. And when the chance comes to strike, you must take it, for there may only be one chance.
Outstanding. So we've got the quest. Get Orin's Netherstone. And get Gortash's. We've also got a Warhammer, shield, and a very heavy suit of armour. And even with Astarion's big strength, he is encumbered by this. I don't think anyone's going to need the Warhammer as part of their day-to-day activities. None of us use a shield, do we? No, that's for people that aren't murdering everyone that gets in their way. And then this very heavy suit of armour. It's worth a lot of money, but that's about all it's good for us. There we go. Bit of rearranging later and everyone's just about under their carrying capacity. And now we shall make our way back to the surface, but we'll do that next time. So until then, thanks for watching, friends.